Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Beauty First in 10. I love makeup and I love football, so I combined the two into one channel. So if you're new to makeup and football, or you're a pro, I hope you enjoy. Please remember to subscribe down below to get updated on my latest videos, and let's get started. So when we're looking at makeup basics, one of the first ones is undertone and skin tone. So that's where we're going to start. So undertone is what happens underneath the surface of your skin. It's not affected by whether you have a tan, you've got a little redness on your face, rosacea or acne. Those are all external factors that do not determine what your undertone is. To determine your undertone, it usually falls into a couple categories. That is cool, neutral, warm, or olive. Everyone falls in one of those categories, but how do you know which one you are? There's two tests I really like that I think are easy and less subjective. They're the vein test and the sun test. So when we're doing the vein test, you're going to look at your veins right around here. You don't want to be here or on the underside, which gets sun. You want to be here because it's the less affected by sun, and also the veins are closer to the surface. You should be able to see multiple veins in this area, and you want to see if they fall in a blue, purple, or a green undertone or color. So when you're looking at my veins here, they are purple in color, and that means I am a cool tone person. So if you have any blue or any purple in your veins, that will be cool. When products are describing a cool tone product, they will often use things like rosy, rose, pink, cocoa. Anything in that shade description is usually aimed towards cool tone products. Now, if you're neutral, you'll have a mix of that blue-purple vein along with green veins. That's very common, and if you're not sure, you can always go out into direct sunlight to look at your veins and just make sure that you're seeing both colors. If you are and you're in the neutral category, often products will say words like buff or beige to describe your products, but they can have a wider majority of names that are behind them. If you're in the warm category, you're going to have green veins. And the green veins will often be portrayed on products as things like peach, golden, yellow, or just the word warm. And those will be aimed towards warm toned products. Olive is probably the hardest to understand, and that is when you have green tint to your veins, but it's just more intense. You may need to check with a couple of your friends and look at their green versus your green. But those products are generally going to have words like green or just olive in the name. So when you're looking at the sun test, if you're a cool tone person, meaning you have blue-purple veins, you will burn in the sun and you don't really tan. That is definitely me. I turn red and then I just go right back to white. There is no tanning process that occurs in the intermediate. If you're neutral, you might burn and then tan, or tan very gradually. That would put you in the neutral category. If you're warm toned, then you will basically tan and never burn. And if you're olive, you tan very easily. Most people, even though we wear sunscreen, will know which category they fall into. So now that we've got undertone, that's half the battle. The other half is your actual skin tone. And that's going to be fair, light, medium, tan, or deep. This one there's really no test for. You just sort of know which one you are, or you try products in all the different categories to kind of figure out where you are. I fall into the light category, but it really can vary by product to product. So in Fenty foundations, I will often be in the light medium range. And for Danessa Myricks Skin Tint, which is what I'm wearing today, I'm in the light category. So you can bridge between different variations, fair light, light medium, medium tan, etc. When you're looking at your skin tone, you want to go into a store, look at different products, but then look at them online. Online, they will often have a lot more descriptions of the products. They might have different adjectives. They might have a shade matcher. They might have a try it on feature where you use your camera to put the product on your face. Or they also have models, and you pick the one that looks most like you and then put the foundation or different product on them. That is a great way to figure out before you show up what product you might want to try to see if it's going to work for you. Now, if you go into a store and they have product testers, that's great. If they have free samples, that's even better because it allows you to try out the product and see what you want. I recommend looking at three. So if I was looking at something, I'm cool toned, maybe I'm going to pick a fair cool, a light cool, and a medium cool or a light medium cool. You're going to put those three on, and you want to put them on kind of on your cheek and extending down your neck. And then you want to kind of blot those in so that they're, a little bit dissipated, and then let them dry. You want to look at the product in not only the like indoor lighting or even your home lighting, but also in natural lighting. There's been many times where I'm trying out a new product and I put the foundation on, it looks great in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. It looks really good on my skin. And then I get to the car and I look in the car mirror and I realize there is a very fine definition between my foundation and my neck, which is super embarrassing. And no matter how many times you try to buff that out in the car, you really can't get it better. So to avoid that, you want to try them on in the store if you can. I have done that at Sephora where I'll put on 3 different ones on my cheek. I'll go out to the car, see what they look like, or ask for a free sample. But you want to kind of stick to your tone, your undertone, because that's really where you're going to be. And then you're just trying to figure out which shades. And sometimes you'll have products where they've got an extensive shade range, which can be a little confusing, but it's much more diverse and it allows for more options. So that's skin tone and undertone. And just keep in mind that if you pick the wrong product and you're too dark or you're too light or you pick the wrong one, just know that CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Sephora, Ulta, CVS will all allow returns even if you've opened the product and used it. So don't feel like you have to keep a product that absolutely didn't work for you. Also, if you have some products that are a little bit older that you can no longer return, you can use add-ins to help darken or lighten those up. I'm using today Kosas. They have a tinted glow serum basically that you add into your foundation. And I'm using it today because I'm using a skin tint. It gives me a little bit more coverage and a little bit of glow. But you can also use a darker color to darken your foundation or vice versa with a lighter one. And there's also just built-in skin tints that you can use, or concealer can also work. You can also add in moisturizer, which will also lighten it up. So there's some tips to use foundations that maybe didn't work completely to still have them work for you. So now from touch-ups to touchdowns. So we'll go through some basics of NFL football today. So basics, we've got 32 teams in the National Football League. They are split into the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. 16 teams in each division, and the best of the AFC and the best of the NFC are what meet in the Super Bowl. They all play 17 games with 1 week off that we consider a bye week. And there are going to be teams this year that will play internationally in Frankfurt and London. Those games will tend to be earlier in the morning. There's also games on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas Eve and Day, and New Year's Eve. So generally, if there's a holiday in the winter, there's an NFL game, so you have something to do. But there's also regular season games that will be played, and those are generally on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. So when we're looking at the Thursday night football games, those are broadcast on Amazon Prime and only on Prime. So you will need to have a subscription in order to watch those games. And I live in the central time zone, so the times I give you are going to be in that time zone. Generally, that game is going to start at around 7:15 p.m. There is a pregame show that starts at 6. I highly recommend watching the pregame show. It will get you more used to the players, the teams themselves, weaknesses, strengths that they have, and then also drama. There is a ton of drama all the time in the NFL. It is the best soap story that no one is paying attention to. So, if you're interested in knowing some drama, the pregame show is where you would like to be. And then on Sunday is when the bulk of the games are played. That is games that start at noon and also at 3 o'clock. The noon games are broadcast on Fox and CBS, so just on regular network television. And in the 3 o'clock hour, there's 1 or 2 games played. So, how do you know what game is going to be in your region and at your time? Well, you can go to Google and type in NFL coverage map, or you can go to 506sports.com. Both of those will bring up a picture of the US, and it will have different colors, and each color represents what game that region is going to see. If you're in Dallas, you're going to see Cowboys games. If you're in Milwaukee, you're going to see a Packers game. But just know that's one of the 3 games or 4 games that you're going to see. So they're not all going to just show you a Packers game or just show you a Bears game. That would be really unfortunate because the Bears aren't particularly good. But that's basically how it works. And then Sunday night, there's going to be NBC will host Sunday Night Football. Great show. They also have their pregame. It's called Football Night in America. It starts at 5 o'clock on NBC as well. And those games are predetermined. So the Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night footballs have a schedule that is released at the beginning of the year with what games are going to happen. So you can know those in advance. It's just the Sunday day games that you aren't decided until about Tuesday or Wednesday before the games. And then Monday night, there's also a game. Monday Night Football is on ESPN, ESPN2, and then occasionally games are also on ABC by Select. And I really like watching ESPN2. It's called the Manning Cast, and it has Peyton and Eli Manning, which are really well-known football players. And they, talk a lot about the plays, but they also have guest stars on, sometimes that have nothing to do with football. But it's really fun, and especially if the game is not particularly competitive or there's 2 teams that are not very good playing, they are very entertaining to watch in themselves. So I highly recommend ESPN2's Manning Cast if you have that. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the highlights and headlines that kind of went on this week. So 49ers are super dominant. That was very well evidenced by their first game. They are a fun team to watch. They have a good defense. They have a good offense. They have a great quarterback. So if you're looking for a team to bandwagon this year and get behind, I highly recommend the 49ers. Brock Purdy is a great story. I encourage you to read about him. And then you have the Detroit Lions that played the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are the defending Super Bowl champions, so they're the kind of team to beat, and they're always fairly good, at least in the last couple of years. Detroit Lions played them for the first game of the season, and they won, which is a little bit of a headline because the Detroit Lions have been up and down, but really finished strong last year, and they had a great play. So I've linked 2 plays down below. One is from the 49ers that was a great pass to a great block that led to a touchdown. And the other one is the Detroit Lions that did a fake punt, and the Kansas City Chiefs bought it, and they got the 1st and 10. So I've linked both of those plays down below, along with the products I'm wearing, so you can check that out after this video. The other headlines is Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the New York Jets when they were playing the Buffalo Bills. He only played 4 snaps before tearing his Achilles tendon, and will have had surgery already, and he is out for the season. There was a ton of hype around him being with the Jets and starting quarterback. There was Super Bowl talk. So it'll be really interesting to see how they respond in the next couple weeks and what their next game looks like and whether they can rebound with Zach Wilson as their quarterback. And then the other big story was the Giants. New York Giants played the Dallas Cowboys, and it was embarrassingly bad. The Giants really need to figure some stuff out, and it'll be interesting to see what Brian Daboll talks to his team about and how he gets them to forget that game. It was in the rain, so you might be able to play that off, but the other team that they played, the Dallas Cowboys, looked fine. So they have a lot of stuff to work on. And now for a little tea with your football. It is rumored that Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, who is out right now on an injury, that he is dating Taylor Swift. Not confirmed, but it's speculated. And they also haven't decided who will do the NFL halftime show or the national anthem. So now there's some talk that maybe Taylor Swift would be involved in that due to her connections with an NFL player. So that's all for me today. Remember to subscribe down before, like and share this video, and I'll leave you with this. You are the captain of your own ship. So if you're headed in the wrong direction, you can turn it around. I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks for joining me.